Morning, Internet. It's Carl again. Just giving you my update. Sorry it's been such a long time since my last update. It's just a lot harder to do on the road with the team driving situation as it is. And also, good free Wi-Fi is much harder to find than I thought it was going to be. It's going to be a little bit less frequent that I do updates and that I actually get them posted. In fact, what will happen more than not is I'll post all my updates on my home time. You'll go a few weeks without seeing anything, and then a couple days in a row you'll see a new update each day. That's what I'm thinking is going to be moving on forward from here. I got a lot of stuff to talk about today. First of all, I finished my training. My trainer, as I mentioned in the last video, was pretty cool. Very patient with me, naturally good instructor. Overall, a kind of a cool cat. I learned a lot with him. I've got a lot more to learn. I'm still having problems with my backing, and my shifting gets pretty sloppy as I get tired. But other than that, I'm pretty good on most things. I was able to finish the training. He dropped me off in Marietta, a short cab ride from home. And I spent a couple days at the house. Got to go to little Keegan's first birthday. It was just kind of a big deal, and I was very glad that I could be there for that. Then I was just basically doing laundry and hanging out. I did get sick for a day. That kind of sucked to spend, some of your home time sick. It is what it is. And I got set up with a new partner. He lives in Augusta. I've talked to him on the phone. Seems like a decent guy. We have some differences of opinion on what we're looking for, so I don't know if it's going to work out. We voiced our concerns, and we're going to give it a shot for a month. If it works out, great. If not, we'll find other partners. I also have a new driver manager. He's much more accessible than my first driving manager. He seems definitely on the ball, but we'll see how that works out. He set me up with a truck I'm in now. It was in the Atlanta drop yard. I picked that up yesterday, which was Wednesday, and he set me up with a solo run to Thompson, Georgia, which is just a stone's throw away from Augusta. I should have spoken up more about not being ready to do a solo run, but I didn't, and just about everything went wrong. Got to pick up the truck. My name wasn't on the authorization list, so that had to be taken care of. Then when I went to inspect the vehicle, the truck wouldn't start. It had been sitting for over a month. Smells like it's been sitting for over a month. So I thought it was maybe the battery. Turns out it wasn't the battery, it's me being a knucklehead. A lot of diesel have a turn-off switch for the battery. Some don't, some do. I looked for the turn-off switch where I normally see it. It was not there, so I made the assumption, what happens when you assume, that it was the battery. So I waited for the mechanic to come out to jump start it and see what was going on, and he checked the battery, had a good charge on it. He checked 2 or 3 spots, turned the switch, and started right up. There you go. The last driver was conscious enough to turn it off so it wouldn't be dead. So then I went and picked up my load. It was the heaviest load I've had yet. I got out of Atlanta much later than I wanted to, but I was able to get on the interstate just as it was turning dark, so I would at least get off the surface streets. Still had a lot of Atlanta traffic hour, a little bit rough, but then once I got east of 285 on I-20, it started to calm down some. The wind was blowing like all out. Even with the heavy load, it was pushing me around a little bit. I was able to get to my delivery on time, 15 minutes early. Develop the same philosophy as my trainer. If you're able to, get there at least an hour early. That way, if there's an issue, you can get it taken care of. If there isn't an issue, maybe you can be done with your day a little bit early. But I try to get there early, only 15 minutes, which really is a little tight for comfort. But I got there. Then I had to park the thing. Like I said, I'm weak on parking. I haven't been able to park by myself yet, and I wasn't able to do it last night. I tried for about 45 minutes to park the damn thing at the dock. Luckily for me, after 45 minutes of trying to park this damn thing, one of the yard dogs there took pity on me and offered to dock it for me. What I had to do is just basically drop it in the middle of the yard. He would hook up with his vehicle and pull it into the dock, drop it, and then I hook back up. We're finished unloading, I would take off. I went back to pick up the vehicle. I had to hook it up, so we did that. Once I hooked it back up, I went into the office, let them know it was ready to be offloaded. They offloaded it. I go walking back out to the truck. Something didn't look right about how I had it set up. I looked it all over. I double checked everything, but it just didn't look right. I did a tug test when I was pulling out. For those of that you don't know, a tug test is basically just you have your brakes on your trailer locked and you just pull forward slightly just to make sure that you're locked into the trailer appropriately. I did a tug test and the tug test failed. Luckily for me, it didn't end up on the ground. It ended up on the frame of the tractor, which is why you do it that way. It's easier to recover if it's still on the frame of the trailer than if it's not. So failed, which means I had to crank the landing gear up, crank the trailer up. Luckily it was empty, so it wasn't too hard, but got it up high enough where I could push it back underneath. Locked it into place. Now everything looked right, and then I was able to move on. But by this time I was tired, and as I said earlier, when I get tired, my shifting turns to crap, and I was having a hard time just getting onto the interstate. Once I got onto the interstate, I was rolling. As I mentioned before, it was super windy, and now I'm empty, so I was getting pushed all over the place. So I pulled into a rest area. It was just a few miles down the road. I hadn't been able to contact my partner since earlier that night. The original plan was that once I got to the drop-off point, I'd let him know, and then we would, after I was done, I'd go ahead and meet him in Augusta, and we'd get him logged on to the truck, and then we could get rolling first thing this morning. I was not able to reach him again. The drop-off took a lot longer than I expected. Not only did it take me a long time to park it, but they had me waiting for an hour and a half before they assigned me a dock. Then it took me a while to park it. Then they had to unload it. Then I dropped my trailer. I had to recover the trailer. Ultimately, I was not out of there until after 12 o'clock. So by the time I settled in here, it was around 1. And I hadn't heard back from him, so just left him a message saying, hey, give me a call in the morning. I decided to do my 10-hour reset here at the rest area. It was easy to get into. There's a bathroom. It's not a truck stop, so there's not food or anything, but I have food, and I would just blow money on crap food anyway. Other than that, there's not a whole lot else to report. Hope everybody has a good day, and we will talk to you later. Take care.